is what yogis are like. We may not, we may not want, we may not know what it means. We may not quite be willing yet to take those steps, but here it is coming straight out of Lord Vishnu's mouth. He's asking them to behave in a way that's like, it would almost have been like they probably would have rather heard, like, here, I'm going to give you some special weapons. Now go back and fight, you know? Like that would have been much easier to accept than go back and be peaceful. Go back and be respectful. Don't be agitated. If they ask you for anything, just give it to them,
Mm.
and you're going to have a peaceful mind.
Mm.
But he's got a whole plan.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Hastinapur, Delhi, New Delhi. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the show. Welcome, everybody. We're here with the crew here. Live. Oh, you can see them all. Oh, we can't move it. We can't move anything because we're losing power, we're losing internet, we're losing mic things. But we're with a beautiful, happy, inspired crew here in New Delhi. Kaustubha is up in Rishikesh, or he's
Right.
with another crew of people, and we're gonna meet him in about a week. How are you, Kaustubha? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yeah, there's a little
There we
bit
go.
of static or whatever, but yeah, I can hear you.
Is there?
Well, I don't know if you can do anything to improve it, but let's just hope
Okay.
for the best.
All right. Let me check
Yeah.
we the right microphone. Yeah, we got the right microphone.
You sound good.
Huh.
You sound good.
I sound
get
good.
into it,
Okay,
bro.
that's good. How are you? How are you? We did
Good,
it.
man.
We did it. We made it here. We landed here.
Yeah. I'm aware. I saw you there.
I can't tell if there's a lag or if you're just moving slow today.
I'm hearing you. I hope you're hearing me.
I'm hearing you. Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice. I will say it's nice to meet these pilgrims. Some of them I've known for a while to see how far they've come. And then some I haven't even met. Stacy here. I haven't even met her. She's been listening to the show since 2020.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Yeah, mystical. We have to have these meet the peeps because they all have such an interesting story.
They do.
But yeah, we're gonna get you on, Stacy. We're gonna bring you on. You're gonna tell your story the next couple of days, so get ready for that. And we were heading out early in the morning to Jodhpur, which is one of these Rajasthani walled cities where filled with Krishna bhaktas. Okay, you're up in Rishikesh, holy place by the river Ganga. Did you take bath in the Ganga yet?
No, I rolled in here at about, it was almost 2 o'clock. Checked in, met up with Lilo from Colombia,
Oh, cool.
which was real nice. He's got a group here, and he's just like leaving town, so we just barely overlapped, but we spent
Nice.
some really nice time together. He's a long time listener to Wisdom of the Sages, and he's deriving a lot from it and kind of sharing that with his people, that he brings
Yeah, he
over
takes
here.
people from South America or from Colombia on
Yeah,
pilgrimage. He's great.
he's such a great guy too. So I got a chance to spend a little time with him, and then I'm up here and I'm running nonstop, Raghunath. I'm living like you right now.
I know you got in late last night. I was wiped out, heading for bed, and because he was like, "Hey, I'm downstairs. Let's have a prata." I was like, "Listen, I'm really winding down right now." He's like, "Come on, listen, just stay for. I just got in. Let's talk." I was like, "I really can't. I'm winding down." It was a total role
I'm winding
reversal.
down. And now, so then I got 4 hours sleep last night and then drove up here 6 hours, met Lilo doing the show. Then I have a program right after this. I gotta go speak at a yoga
Alrighty.
program. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, let's dive into the Bhagavatam. Unless you want to say
Yeah, you
anything else
ready?
about India.
I don't have a nugget. I'm just happy to be here. I mean, there's things we could talk about, but I suppose that'll come out.
You know what? Let's get Stacy over here.
Okay,
Let's get Stacy. Get over here. Sorry. Stacy's I know you're not prepared. This wasn't a prepared thing. Stacy, I met him. She was on our plane. I didn't even know it.
She's climbing all over the place.
The mysterious other. Say hi, Stacy. How are you? You got to talk right in the middle. You got to get low here.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hello,
What's your
Stacey.
story, Stacy? Tell us your story.
What's my story?
Right in the mic. How did you get to listen to this podcast?
I did a all-day retreat at the Bhakti Center and
Huh.
there teaching yoga, and Ranath Swami was there, and I guess that's how I learned about you. I had been going to Omega retreat center doing their Omega the chant weekends for a few years.
The ecstatic chant.
Yeah,
They
the
did,
exact
yeah.
chant, and that was
Okay.
fun. And that I felt Krishna in the space there, so and then I started going to the Bhakti Center for kirtan.
And then the podcast.
And then the podcast, I was there in January. Isn't that when you started? January
We're gonna say, and the
2020?
podcast. Get to the podcast, please.
Yeah, the podcast. I've been another listener, not in the mornings, but every night I listen to it, before I go to sleep. And then I signed up to come to India that spring for October 2020, but of course it didn't happen. So they've had my deposit for 4 years, 4.5
Wow.
years.
You were the one who wrote, like, I've given a deposit. Will you
Right.
hold it for me? I was like, 4 years ago. Are we supposed to still hold that?
I know, I
It's
just
been spent many times over.
That's what I was worried about. So I finally signed up, and then you said you're doing Nepal too. I said I signed up for the whole thing, so I'm here for 5 weeks.
We got her
Wow.
for 5 weeks, this lady.
Nice.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're in for here.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. We're excited to see your the spiritual blossoming going on.
Thank
You
you.
look a little bit like Santa Claus right now, Raghunath, and like she's about to ask for what she wants.
Do not say that to Stacy. She does not look like Santa Claus.
No, you, Raghunath, you.
Well, I will.
Because I'm sitting on his lap.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it looks
get
like
it. She's sitting on my lap and I've got a white beard. I get it.
It's like,
else
okay,
do
what would you
want
like for
to know,
Christmas?
this young lady? Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
bye.
Yeah, and she's listened every day. It's quite amazing. For in 2020.
So many
Exciting.
people listening, Raghunath. So many people listening.
Yeah, unbelievable. They're out there, mysterious.
Yeah.
Ah,
Here in the Bhagavatam every day.
okay. People sending blessings your way, Stacy. Okay, let's dive into the Srimad Bhagavatam. We're in a new chapter.
New chapter today. Yeah.
It's called The Demigods and the Demons Declare a Truce.
Truce.
Right.
That's a nice
Narayana-
thing. Huh? Truce.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva devim saraswatim vyasam stojayam madirya. Before we start in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan, Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Midatam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Kostuba?
We didn't have announced Mara, no Mara this morning? Or this afternoon for us?
Can I replace the announcements with another introduction? I'm going to bring Jason Jordan here.
Oh.
Come on, Jason. This is
Whoa,
one of my,
what happened
one more
there?
guy. Come on. This guy, come here, Jason. Come on down. Hop over the bed. It's okay. Everybody's climbing on the bed today. This, Jason.
What
he's
do
one of
you
my
want for
old
Christmas,
buddies.
Jason?
What do you
What I
want?
want. I want Krishna's mercy.
There you
I
go.
think you're going to get it on this trip. If you want
Yeah.
that on this trip, you will get that.
Yeah. Hey, Kostuba.
You got to talk
How
right
you
Hey,
into
doing?
it.
Kostuba. How are you?
I don't know if you remember
Good,
Jason,
very good.
the very first pilgrimage we did, but I've known him since
Yeah.
you guys were 16 or
Yeah, it's
17.
34 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 34 years. That was 2008, and I had pizza in Mumbai, and I think you made the oven there.
Yes,
Yes.
And this-
yeah.
I didn't make the oven. I taught them how to make pizza.
There you go. All right. Well, either way, I mean, it was awesome pizza.
Great. Good to hear.
That's so Jason and his brother Joel used to come to the temple when they were maybe 17 years old,
16.
16 years old.
And I worked at Govinda's in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Yeah, and you used to have the Wednesday night program upstairs. So I came every week, and we used to like do like stage dives in the little temple room upstairs. It was nuts.
It was like such a packed house of our chanting kirtan. We were all brahmacharis back then, and we'd have
That was like the
Harinam.
floor would kind of warp out, like when you
Yes,
danced.
it was kind of like a trampoline.
Yeah.
And we kid you not, this building was going to go down. You were so illegally packed in this building on the 4th floor of a building that was constructed in 1804.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's on
Real?
pilgrimage right now. And how are you doing? What's your story? What's going
I'm
on?
doing great. I'm running towards a lot of uncomfortable stuff. I sold my apartment in Brooklyn and just decided to get out of there, put all my stuff in storage, called you and said I'm coming to India, and here we are. So yeah.
You know what?
All
That's
right.
beautiful.
Okay,
I
let's
think
do it
when-
right now. Get your passport. Let's burn it right now. You're never going back.
I would love to. I might stay forever.
All right.
I think this is the sign of devotion is you've got some not issues, but you're going through troubled waters.
Issues.
He has issues. I didn't want to
I got issues, and I got more issues than National Geographic.
But instead of turning to dark places, you lean into Krishna. You learn to lean into pilgrimage. You lean into the devotees. And so I'm really proud you're here and happy you're here, buddy. Good to see you, man. Yeah.
Rade, rade.
All
Jai
right.
Shri.
Nice. Jason
Ah.
Jordan's here. So happy that when he called me.
Yeah.
All right. So let's dive in now. Mara, do you have any announcements? Or did we lose the announcement window? Did that close? I just put it down. No, it's here. So, Kostuba?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. I do have announcements.
Okay.
I can't get. Okay. Please don't make
We
me
are a
laugh.
mess today. Let's pull this together. Mary,
Get
we
out of
count
my
on you to
lap.
hold it together.
We are a mess. I'm sorry. All right. On Sunday is Urban Devi through the Bhakti Center with Jai Gopali. She's doing 5 lessons from the dying, 11
Cool.
a.m., 12:30.
What about from the dead?
Like a new
Right.
Misfits record. Lessons from the dead.
Lessons from the dead.
Also join Wisdom of the Sages at the beautiful Govardhan Eco Village for our Light on Wisdom training, January 12th through 24th. We're booking up now. If you ever wanted time away from the daily grind to learn yoga wisdom in depth and have all your questions answered in a supportive environment, this is an opportunity that can't be missed. Go to wisdomofthesages.com for more info and to register.
All righty. All right, Kostuba, now we're in. This is text 1. Let's do it.
Canto 8, Chapter 6,
Yeah.
entitled
Text 1.
The Demigods and the Demons Declare Truce.
Sri Sukadev Goswami said, O king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, being thus worshipped with prayers, right? The whole last chapter was all prayers by the demigods, and Lord Brahma appeared. Lord Brahma, let me try that again.
Yes, we're gonna take a deep breath. Let's
Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, being thus worshipped with prayers by the demigods, and Lord Brahma appeared before them.
Okay.
His bodily effulgence resembled simultaneous rising of thousands of suns.
Wow.
Imagine that.
I mean,
The
you
vision-
can't see it. It's too bright.
You might even think he has no form because you can't see.
Imagine that brilliance. Anyway, we haven't seen this kind of thing with these eyes, Raghunath.
No. The vision of all the demigods was blocked by the Lord's effulgence. Thus, they could see neither the sky, the directions, the land, nor even themselves. What to
Oh.
speak of seeing the Lord, who is
Like a
present
flash.
right before them.
Okay.
Text 3 to 7, right? Lord Brahma, along with Lord Shiva, saw the crystal clear personal beauty of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose blackish body
Who's? Oh. Okay, I'll read it. Raghunath's lagging out. Lord Brahma, along with Lord Shiva, saw the crystal clear personal beauty of the
wonder what that
Supreme
is.
Personality of Godhead.
Hello?
You lagged out
I'm
big
like-
time, Raghunath.
Well, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Do you want to try it again?
Yeah. Lord Brahma, along with Lord Shiva, saw crystal clear personal beauty of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose blackish body resembles a Marakata gem, whose eyes are reddish like the depths of a lotus, and who's dressed with garments that are yellow like molten gold. Everybody can picture this in their mind, and whose entire body is attractively decorated. They saw his beautiful, smiling, lotus-like face, crowned by a helmet bedecked with valuable jewels. The Lord has attractive eyebrows, and his cheeks are adorned with earrings. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva saw the belt on the Lord's waist, the bangles on his arms, the necklace on his chest, and the ankle bells on his legs. The Lord is bedecked with flower garlands. His neck is decorated with the Kaustubha gem, and he carries with him the goddess of fortune and his personal weapons, like his disc and his club. When Lord Brahma, along with Lord Shiva and the other demigods, thus saw the form of the Lord, they all immediately fell to the ground, offering their obeisances.
Whew. Many times we hear this description in the Bhagavatam when someone sees the Lord, right? Same type of description.
Yeah.
Always mentioned that he's smiling, right? He's not angry. He's not upset. He's not coming like, why are you disturbing me again? You guys got all your problems over there. Nope. He's got a sweet smile on his face. Okay, now Lord Brahma's going to start to speak again.
Also, immediately you want to offer respect to him. You want to bow down when you see him.
Oh,
Lord
I'd
Brahma
love to
said,
feel that.
"You are never born. Your appearance and disappearance as an incarnation never cease. You are always free from the material qualities, and you are the shelter of transcendental bliss, resembling an ocean. Eternally existing in your transcendental form, you are the supreme subtle of the most extremely subtle. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto the Supreme, whose existence is inconceivable. O best of persons, O Supreme Director, those who actually aspire for supreme good fortune worship this form of your lordship according to Vedic tantras. My lord, we can see all the three worlds in you. My dear
tantras.
Lord. What'd you say?
Vedic tantras. Do you know what the word tantra means?
Really? To touch?
My understanding of tantra is that it means that you're taking something of this world and rather than turning your back on it, through it, you're transcending the world, right? You're engaging matter. You're engaging the senses. You're engaging something external as a path to transcendence rather than denying it. Tantra.
Like tantric yoga, perhaps.
Yeah.
Just laugh, no explanation. Okay. My dear Lord, who are always fully independent, this entire cosmic manifestation arises from you, rests upon you, and ends in you. Your lordship is the beginning, sustenance, and end of everything, like the earth, which is the cause of an earthen pot, which supports the pot, and to which the pot, when broken, finally returns. O Supreme, you are independent in yourself and do not take the help from others. Through your own potency, you create this cosmic manifestation and enter into it. Those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness, who are fully in knowledge of the authoritative Shastra, and who, through the practice of Bhakti Yoga, are cleansed of all material contamination, can see with clear minds that although you exist within the transformation of material qualities, your presence is untouched by these qualities.
Okay, through Bhakti Yoga, one gets this vision. Yeah.
You know, you just see the people. We're staying in a nice hotel in New Delhi, but you can just see the people. There's certain people who, if you're wearing tilak or neck beads or Brahmin thread, they see you and they just snap into some other version of themselves. They're like, oh. They sometimes make that noise. Oh, Prabhu. Like that. And then there's some people you can just see they've been covered over by New Delhi. But like it's so rapidly grown into Western culture. Like, in the old days of taking people on pilgrimage, I used to tell them, okay, nuances of do's and don'ts when you come to a holy place. It's almost like you can't even teach that anymore because everybody is so westernized, especially in these cities. And we're in the process of cleansing, and other people are in the process of trying to contaminate as much as they can in hopes that there's going to be a huge payoff. Guess what? There's not one. There's no big payoff. It is a baited hook, this running towards Western materialism. And it will manifest, if it hasn't already, in the culture. I really think that Wisdom of the Sages and everyone who's spreading the message of the Bhagavat is putting it's reversing the effects of Kali Yuga. Just by hearing it, your consciousness changes, your desires change, your desire for a good time changes, your desire of what you're going to eat and where you're going to eat and what you're going to do on your holidays change. It's radically cleansing the consciousness.
Whew, okay. I hope so. I need it.
It's doing it. You're not ordinary. Come on, we know that.
Okay, let's
You know
keep
what
it going.
58 you know what 58-year-old men like yourself are doing right now? They're playing golf. They're trying to get in their golf game, retiring.
Is that
You're up
what-
in Rishikesh
what I
taking
would be
cold
doing?
showers. What's that?
That's what you picture me doing if I didn't get into
No,
this?
I'm just saying you wouldn't be doing it, but you're you. You're not doing that.
Okay. All right.
They're trying to expand their stuff. Right? We're trying to reduce our stuff.
Okay.
What are we on? Text 12?
Yes.
As one can derive fire from wood, milk from the milk bag of a cow, food grains and water from the land, and prosperity in one's livelihood from industrial enterprises, so by the practice of bhakti yoga, even within this material world, one can achieve your favor or intelligently approach you. Those who are pious all affirm this.
Okay.
Now-
It's an interesting point though. Here they are, they offered their prayers. Their prayers were answered and they had a vision of God. It was like all that you would expect it to be, right? It was like incredibly bright and so bright that you couldn't even see it at first, but then somehow you could see. And then he just had this incredibly beautiful form, and all the details of that form were described. And we can imagine that seeing the face of the Lord and seeing all the forms of the Lord, that you're experiencing something that makes you feel something that you haven't felt before. And here he is, he's in front of you. And then you get this message. Then Lord Brahma, he actually starts to speak the message, right? And again, I think a lot of what's happening when Brahma is speaking is he's not just speaking on his own behalf, but he's kind of educating all the devas too. You know, they weren't able to get this vision on their own. They had to go to Lord Brahma. You understand? They had to go to him and say, help us. And he said, okay, I'm going to take you all to the ocean of milk. We're going to pray. It mentioned that at first it was too bright to see. Nobody could actually see his form. They couldn't see anything. Then it mentioned that Brahma and Shiva saw him. Two characters that are kind of on another level than your typical devas. And then eventually they were all able to see, but they're able to see it. So much of it is really by the grace of Brahma, whose prayers called him to appear. And he's giving this message that what can you do to connect with this person? If we all desire that, imagine if you could see and experience the very person that's behind everything, and that he's kind and munificent and so on. What would it take for you to connect with him, to get his attention, for him to bless you in some special way or something? What would qualify me for that? Would I have to be born in a certain family or a certain place of the world? Or would I have to be learned? Would I have to know so much? Maybe I would have to renounce the world. Maybe I'd have to be very austere. And he's saying it's actually none of those things, because none of those things can touch him. None of those things can influence him. None of those things move him in any way. He says it's only this practice of bhakti yoga, right? It's only ultimately it's only love that he's taking a specific interest in. Such a fascinating idea about that person who's behind everything.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. Continuing on. This is 13. Elephants afflicted by a forest fire become very happy when they get water from the Ganges. Similarly, O my lord, from whose navel grows a lotus flower, since you have now appeared before us, we have become transcendently happy. By seeing your lordship, whom we have desired to see for a very long time, we have achieved our ultimate goal in life.
Very graphic analogy there.
Comparing the material world to a forest fire.
And imagine if you were an animal running through the forest and you're kind of, I'd imagine that it's like you don't know which way to run sometimes, or you're running and it's running faster than you. And you're like, am I going to be able to escape this? Am I going to get wrapped up in it? And then you find a river, a big river like the Ganges River, big river. It's like saved, right?
Right downstream. Yeah.
Yeah, you just get in that and you're protected immediately. It's cooling. You get tremendous relief. That is what all of the devas all came, and they were burning in anxiety. Our enemies have taken everything over. We've lost our power. We've lost our prestige. We've lost our wealth. We've lost our status. We've lost everything. What can we do? And then this form of Lord Vishnu appears before you, and suddenly all of that anxiety, just by the vision of him, gone.
Anxiety starts to melt. That's one of the symptoms of engaging in bhakti. And it's understood that it's a world riddled with anxiety. That the name of Vishnu's abode, Vaikuntha, is such a beautiful thing. The place without anxiety. Here, no matter what situation you're in, you could be very poor, you could be well off, you could be super rich. There must be anxiety, because although it's like, okay, I've got this under control. You just can't control anything. And the material world is destined to shift. The seasons are destined to change, and the material world's destined to crumble. How can you ever escape anxiety? It's the one thing that you can do to relieve anxiety. There's no medication that can relieve it. It can dumb you down, but if you have anxiety, it's completely normal. We engage in bhakti, immediately that fever goes down. Text 14. My lord, the various demigods, the directors of the universe, have come to your lotus feet. Please fulfill the purpose for which you have come. You are the witness of everything, from within and without. Nothing is unknown to you, and therefore it is unnecessary to inform you of anything.
We don't even have to tell you. We got a big mess over here, okay? The Asuras have taken over.
Big mess.
It is something that Brahma's understanding is just so much higher. He's really guiding them well. This is kind of, what is a priest? If you use that word nowadays, even people are just like, yeah, priest.
We hate priests.
It's like almost
a culture that hates priests.
If you look at like any kind of new movies or these television now television shows are almost like movies, like these series that they have. Almost always the priest, whether it's a priest like a Christian priest, or they're almost always portrayed as kind of just a lot of times just like cruel and evil and given false prestige, but really the priest is someone that's supposed to help guide everyone in how to set their minds right, in relation to God. And Brahma's doing that. He's if the Devas were to start speaking right now, they'd probably just start blabbering like all kinds of like their full anxiety would just be coming out, like, oh my God, we need your help. Everything's terrible. Blah, blah, blah. Brahma's just on another level, and he's not even. This is a real culture person. He's not even saying what doesn't need to be said. He just knows how to be in the presence of someone of the stature, of a higher stature of Lord Vishnu. So he's got faith. He's speaking with this is called wisdom. Cool. He's got a cool head. He's not worried. He knows. He wants to express what's in his heart. He doesn't want to burden the Lord with just a lot of garbage, and he's ready for what the Lord puts forward. And you tell us what to do, we'll accept it.
Okay, text 15. Lord Shiva and all the demigods, accompanied by the Prajapatis like Daksha, are nothing but sparks illuminated by you, who are the original fire. So he says, I, Lord Shiva. So Brahma speaking.
Yeah, I, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva.
Since we are particles of you, what can we understand about your welfare, about our welfare? O Supreme Lord, please give us the means of deliverance that is suitable for the Brahmanas and the demigods.
Okay.
Sukadeva Goswami continued. When Lord was thus offered prayers by the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, he understood the purpose for which they had approached him. Therefore, in a deep voice that resembled the rumbling of clouds, the Lord replied to the demigods, who all stood there attentively with folded hands. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of the demigods, was capable of performing activities of the demigods by himself, he wanted to enjoy pastimes in churning the ocean. Therefore, he spoke as follows. O Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other demigods, please hear me with great attention, for what I say will bring good fortune for all of you. As long as you are not... You like this dramatic reading? As long as you are not flourishing, you should make a truce with the demons and asuras, who are now being favored by time.
Okay.
O demigods, fulfilling one's own interest is so important that one may even have to make a truce with one's enemies. For the sake of one's self-interest, one is to act according to the logic of the snake and the mouse.
What is the logic of the snake and the mouse?
What is the logic of the snake? Does it say so in the
Pardon
purport?
the commentary. A snake and a mouse were once caught in a basket. Now, since the mouse is food for the snake, this was a good opportunity for the snake. However, since both of them were caught in the basket, even if the snake ate the mouse, the snake would not be able to get out. Therefore, the snake thought it wise to make a truce with the mouse and asked the mouse to make a hole in the basket so that both of them could get out. The snake's intention was that after the mouse made a hole, the snake would eat the mouse and escape from the basket through the hole. This is called the logic of the snake and the mouse.
I love how India's got all these. The logic of the half hen, the logic of the, the one-legged crane, the logic of the... There's a lot of these.
Yeah.
I just made up that last one, but...
Okay. So the demigods, probably this is not what they were hoping for. This is kind of like the hardest thing. You need to cooperate with your enemies. You need to work together with them. You're going to have to set aside. I'm not here to mete out justice and for you guys to walk away like as if you're the right and everybody else is wrong. I'm going to advise you to make a truce with your enemies and then work with them cooperatively. It's like, God, that's got to be the worst.
Yeah. Immediately endeavor to produce nectar, which a person who is about to die may drink to become immortal. So there's a nectar that if you drink, you become immortal. Okay. All right. O demigods, cast into the ocean of milk all kinds of vegetables, grass, creepers, and all drugs.
Wow.
Then, with my
Not
help...
all drugs. It didn't say all drugs. Did it?
And drugs.
Oh, all kinds of drugs. And so...
All kinds of vegetables.
Drugs. What's the word for drugs here?
Pepto-Bismol.
I don't think it meant
What
like
kind of drugs?
kind of big farm kind of stuff.
Big Pharma is just like pouring. We're gonna get rich from this. The Lord said, "Do it." Then, with my help,
Auxity.
probably means like
Drugs and
herbal.
herbs. Or,
Yeah.
yes, herbal stuff. It's all herbal stuff.
It's all herbals. Then, with my help, making Mandara Mountain the churning rod and Vasuki, the rope for the churning rod, churn the ocean of milk with undiverted attention. Thus, the demons will be engaged in labor, but you, the demigods, will gain the actual result, the nectar produced from the ocean.
Okay, so
My dear
Prabhupada writes,
demigods. Okay.
no,
go ahead.
Prabhupada writes, it appears that when the different kinds of drugs, creepers, grass, and vegetables are put into this milk, and the milk is churned, as milk is churned for butter, the active principle of the vegetables and the drugs mixes with the milk, and the result is nectar. It's a recipe.
Interesting. My dear demigods, with patience and peace, everything can be done. But if one is agitated by anger, the goal is not achieved. Therefore, whatever the demons ask, agree to their proposal.
Oh, man, it's getting even harder, right? It's got to be done in the right consciousness. My dear, with patience and peace, everything can be done. But if one is agitated by anger, the goal is not achieved. You know, this is the kind of thing, Raghunath, I even think of when we come into the Holy Dham, you know? It's like there's certain times we're going to be called, if we're going to become pure devotees of Krishna, we're going to be called upon to sometimes go beyond what's right and wrong in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, to like really take the high ground, the high road, you know? Sometimes when we're right and others are wrong, accepting things the way they are, not needing justice, not needing to be respected, not need, you know, the demigods are like, hey, we may have our problems, but we work for you ultimately, you know, like we're your people. The demons hate you. You know, we're a little materialistic. They're 100% against you. And Vishnu's saying, you need to actually go back to them, make a truce. Anything they ask for, you should provide. And you have to do it actually in the right mood. You can't be angry. These people have taken over it's kind of like they're invaders. They've taken over your home. They've, you know, knocked everything over, taken away your position.
Moved
you
on
have
to your
to
planet.
go back.
Like,
yeah, be patient with them. Don't be agitated by anger. Whatever they ask, you go ahead and do. It's like, you know, but you know, kind of like when we come into the Dham, you know, like we look at the Brijbasis, the people that live there, and we just say, you know what, right or wrong, they may be kind to me, they may be rude to me. I'm just going to try to move through this with a peaceful mind. And sometimes if I'm asked for something a little unreasonable, I'm just going to respond with a smile on my face. You know, that's the kind of mind that we're being instructed to cultivate. And it's that kind of mind that's able to hold Krishna within it, you know, or be absorbed always in Krishna. This is what yogis are like. We may not know what it means. We may not quite be willing yet to take those steps, you know, but here it is coming straight out of Lord Vishnu's mouth. He's asking them to behave in a way that's like, it would almost have been like they probably would have rather heard like, here, I'm going to give you some special weapons. Now go back and fight, you know, like that would have been much easier to accept than go back and be peaceful, go back and be respectful, you know, don't be agitated. If they ask you for anything, just give it to them, you know, and you're going to have a peaceful mind. But he's got a whole plan, you know. All right.
Okay, text 25. A poison known as Kalakuta will be generated from the ocean of milk, but you should not fear it. And when various products are churned from the ocean, you should not be greedy for them or anxious to obtain them, nor should you be angry.
Oh man. Yeah, this is another one where remember we had that question from Tulsi over the weekend. We're like, how do you know when you should give up on something or whether,
Yeah.
this is just a test kind of. And I mentioned that Radha Swami had often shared with us just insights when things seem to be really tough. And
Yeah.
one thing that he shares is that when you want to make a special effort, particularly you're trying to do something special in service of Krishna, you know, challenges come. And he said that whenever you're trying to do something special, you can count on it that some poison comes out in the beginning, right? He's preparing them for it. You're going to start churning. It's going to be a lot of hard work. It's not going to be easy to do this. Not only do they have to eat a ton of humble pie to work with the suras, but the whole act is just full of struggle and pain and effort, and it's really hard. And then when you're finally, at first it seems like nothing's happening, and then finally you're churning and something starts to come out and it's poison.
Mm.
And it's just like at that point you could just go, oh man, all our efforts are worth nothing. But the wise person, this is what Radha would tell us, is like, this is the way it always works when you want to do something special. There's always big challenges in the beginning, the challenges that make you think maybe I should turn back, challenges that think maybe this is not going to be possible, challenges that make you think maybe I just don't have it in me. And you have to push beyond that. And then someday you look back on it and you say, remember when it used to be like that? Remember how hard it was in the beginning?
Mm.
So he's telling them, you're going to churn, and then this kalakuta poison is going to come out. Don't fear it. Don't fear it. It'll be okay.
Don't get attached to the other things.
And yeah, don't be greedy for the other things. You got to keep your focus, right? A lot of wealthy stuff. The demons are going to start to see all this stuff come out. They're like, that's ours. That's ours. That's ours. You know what? Okay, you can have it.
O king, after advising the demigods in this way, the independent personality of Godhead, the best of all living entities, disappeared from their presence. That must have been like, oh, where'd you go? Just seeing
Hold it.
Krishna
Can we
and then
talk
all these-
about that? Having to work with them again?
I didn't hear
Do
that
we have
last
to?
part. Then Lord
poison thing?
Brahma and Lord Shiva, after offering their respectful obeisances to the Lord, returned to their abodes. All the demigods then approached Maharaj Bali. Maharaj Bali, the most celebrated king of the demons, knew very well when to make peace and when to fight. Thus, although his commanders and captains were agitated and were about to kill the demigods, Maharaj Bali, seeing that the demigods were coming to him without a militant attitude, forbade his commanders to kill them.
And
The
Maharaj
demigods
Bali will
approached.
he'll be revealed as a great devotee, actually, even though he's born in the demon family.
Now the demigods approached Bali Maharaj, the son of Virochana, and sat down near him. But Bali Maharaj was protected by the commanders of the demons and was most opulent, having conquered the entire universe. He took over all their planets. He's basically like a ancient
Yeah.
squatter. Squatters' rights.
I mean, more
He's
like a
squatting on
Viking
their.
or something like that, or a raider.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
After pleasing Bali Maharaj with mild words, Lord Indra, the king of the demigods, who was most intelligent, very politely submitted all the proposals he had learned from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. The proposals submitted by King Indra were immediately accepted by Bali Maharaj and his assistants, headed by Sambara and Aristanemi, and by all other residents of Tripura.
So I'm wondering, did they say that we're churning to get the nectar, or did they just say, let's just churn and see what we
comes
get?
out of there.
Well, maybe it's coming up. Let's see.
O Maharaj Pricket, chastiser of the enemies, the demigods and the demons thereafter made an armistice between them. Then, with great enterprise, they arranged to produce nectar as proposed by Lord Indra. Thereafter, with great strength, the demons and demigods, who were all very powerful and who had long, stout arms, uprooted Mandara mountain. Crying very loudly, they brought it toward the ocean of milk.
Wow.
Because of conveying the great mountain for a long distance, King Indra, Maharaj Bali, and other demigods and demons became fatigued. Being unable to carry the mountain, they left it on the way. The mountain known as Mandara, which was extremely heavy, being made of gold, fell and smashed many demigods and demons.
Oh.
My kids have the comic book of this. The demigods and demons were frustrated and disheartened, and their arms, thighs, and shoulders were broken. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who knows everything, appeared there on the back of his carrier, Garuda. Observing that most of the demons and the demigods had been crushed by the fallen mountain, the Lord glanced over them and brought them back to life. Thus they became free from grief, and they had no bruises on their bodies. The Lord very easily lifted that mountain with one hand and placed it on the back of Garuda. Then he too got on the back of Garuda and went to the ocean of milk, surrounded by the demigods and demons.
Wow.
Thereafter, Garuda, the chief of the birds, unloaded Mandara mountain from his shoulder and brought it near the water. Then he was asked by the Lord to leave that place, and he left. It's pretty good.
That's it.
That's it for
We
the
did a whole chapter.
It's exciting.
Whoa. Yeah,
I know.
it's about to get real exciting. Churning, we're gonna churning.
Miss Mara, come on my lap. Tell Santa what takeaways you got.
Bhakti purifies your vision and mind.
Oh, look at poor Bhakta Udi sound asleep over there. Good morning. Everyone's jet lagged a little bit.
Yeah, my jet lag is setting pretty heavy right now,
Yeah.
too.
Even Kastuba's yawning on the show today. Western materialism is a baited hook.
Oh,
Western materialism is a baited hook. Okay.
Actually, Eastern materialism is also.
How about materialism?
How about
Southern as well.
materialism?
Now, Northern materialism is a different thing.
Oh, Northern materialism's good.
Bhakti melts anxiety.
Yep.
We're in the process of cleansing our contaminants.
Okay.
Bhagavatam reverses the effects of Kali Yuga.
Mm-hmm.
Vishnu only takes an interest in our love.
Nothing else.
Nada.
Be patient and take the high road.
Yeah.
Challenges
We're
and
gonna no
poison
comment
will
on that one.
always come. And
What was that? Say that one again. Say that last one again.
challenges and poisons will always come.
Oh, yeah.
Poisons.
And
Yeah.
make a truce with your enemies and churn with them.
Churn with
Churn.
your enemies, people. That's our lesson of the
Churn
day.
it up.
Woo!
Churn it up
Well,
a notch.
Sure. And let's see what comes out of the buttermilk. Thanks
For
everyone for
every
joining
season,
us.
churn, churn, churn.
When does Kartik start in America? Does it start today?
It's starting
Let's
like
all
right
make-
now.
Yeah, well, let's all make some Kartik vows.
Hey,
And,
yeah.
I mean, whatever you're at, chant one round a day, read a chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Got 30 days. It's like Kartik is like finding a catapult for your spiritual life. It's a special gift from God to catapult your spiritual life in these magical 30 days. So
Set
you
your
gotta pick a
Kartik
little
algorithm.
vow. Yeah, you got to pick a little vow and just up it a little bit. Maybe it's chant one round a day. Maybe it's chant a couple extra rounds, what you usually do. Maybe it's read a chapter. We do chapter of the Bhagavad Gita every day. You want to do that again this year? Okay. Chapter of the Bhagavad Gita every day. Getting exciting, Prabhu. Look at all these people.
Hey. Gandharvika Giridhari. Okay. Oh, this is great.
Dan Murphy said, Jason Jordan. Remember Dan Murphy?
Yeah.
Wow. Small world. That's the crew. Who else is here? Lita Kishore, Harry Ball.
People bring the pictures back.
Jason.
I'm tired and I got to get it together.
Yeah,
Okay.
Shubham. Shubham. Attila. Shadaria Ellis. Eastery Janavi, Harry Ball. Johannes, Harry Ball. Krishnamayi, Harry Ball. Rini, Harry Ball. Srivas. Rick Lesher. Eastery Janavi in Sarajevo, Harry Ball. And Andrea Kay. Oh yeah, Eastery Janavi. Harry Ball. Okay, you guys, we gotta go. Joey, Harry Ball. Beautiful day for a beautiful day. Let the peacocks continue to fly. Harry Ball.